Hi everyone. I haven't done a vlog for absolutely ages on kind of health related issues because I've been so busy and I've actually been moving house, which has been really, really stressful. I will try and do a little tour of my living room in a minute with the webcam. I did actually want to do a whole house tour, but for some reason my kind of mobile camera equipment is not working, so that'll be another time, I'm afraid. So yeah, I wanted to talk about a few things today, really. Firstly, I wanted to talk about what I do first thing in the morning, because this is a really important way to start the day, and it's so important in terms of your physical health and actually for the whole family as well, that we drink a really good quality pure water first thing in the morning. So when I get up, before I eat anything, I would drink 2 big glasses of pure filtered water. The filter that I use is a gravity water filter, and I will actually put a link to that at the bottom of this video, because it's really fantastic, and I've just noticed the changes in my physical health and appearance since I've been using it, because prior to that I was using a water distiller, and I have spoken in previous videos about why I don't really like distillers. And that actually distillers are really good as a very short-term detox. So if you're going to use them for a couple of weeks just to draw any impurities and toxins out of the body at a cellular level, then they're great. But for long-term use, they're not a good idea, because the water is basically dead. And it's very important that we get, the right mineral content in the water that we're drinking. And believe it or not, that is actually there in the tap water. That's not what we want to get rid of. What we want to get rid of are the poisons that are intentionally and unintentionally put into our water supply. So you've got the very obvious neurotoxin and toxin, fluoride, which, as we know, is used to basically keep people at a level of consciousness which is really low and non-threatening, and it is also very harmful in terms of cognitive development when it comes to children, and actually the ability to think clearly for adults as well, and to think critically. Apart from the fact that it's actually toxic to the body as well, so it's harmful and has been linked to various diseases, including cancer. It's not something that we want to be taking in. Then, of course, you've got heavy metals. We don't want that in the body. Aluminium as well is very, very toxic, and mercury is another one. We don't want this. So that's another reason why it's really important to filter your water. And then, of course, you've got secondhand pharmaceutical drugs, because, I don't know, at least 50% of this country now is on long-term pharmaceuticals. That's going into the water supply, and then we're taking that in trace amounts, which obviously we don't want. And then you've got, obviously, birth control, psychotropic drugs, antidepressants, you've got, statins, God knows what else that you don't want to be ingesting. And I have spoken quite at length about this before. You've got chlorine as well, which is, basically like drinking bleach. We don't want that. Yeah, and when you've filtered your water and you basically want to keep it, in a container, or if you want to actually take it out with you for the day, or to work or whatever, you need to be using one of these glass carafes, which are really nice, because if you're keeping it in plastic, basically the plastic is leaching into the water, and that is, a hormone disruptor and really dangerous, and not something that you want to be taking in as well. So I don't suggest bottled water for that reason. You really do need to be using a water filter. And I think it's just really important that we understand as well the kind of energetic aspect of water. Human beings are made up of 70% water, and for that reason, that is our kind of that is dominant within us, and for that reason we need to understand how it works, on an energetic level, because if you are, we all know that, if you're in a bad mood and you're walking around and you're really negative, or, you drop something, you tend to drop it again 3 times. This is how this stuff works. You draw to you more of what you think and more of what you do. So you can actually restructure your water. by doing things like putting it in sunlight for a small amount of time, playing really lovely positive music around it, actually keeping your thoughts high vibrational around that water. And loads of studies have been done on restructuring water and the way that water is very, very sensitive to what is going on for us energetically in terms of our thought processes and, you know, the way that we are giving off vibration in general. And I've spoken before about ways that we can actually raise our vibration, like listening to really nice music, positive music, walking in nature, walking barefoot, eating a plant-based diet, so no meat, no dairy, very high fruit and vegetable content, keeping your food as high raw as possible, so including loads of raw food into your diet. And basically, when you find yourself, because, you know, we're living in a society where we're basically trained to think, kind of to think negatively, but also the mainstream media and TV channels. I mean, I don't have a TV apart from for watching films, so it's not an active television, it's just a screen. But we're trained to kind of seek out negative information. It's sensationalized. You know, you get whole magazines and that horrible Daily Mail website, for instance, which is just full of horror stories. And, you know, this is because the powers that be actually know how to control us by lowering our vibration, and they understand as well human nature, and it's kind of, you know, it can be very easily manipulated and steered towards seeking out the negative for sensationalist reasons, as well as just being kind of, you know, and having a negative outlook due to things like low self-esteem. But in actual fact, you know, you can turn that stuff around very, very quickly by changing the way that you're thinking in the moment. And when you catch yourself having negative thoughts about yourself or about other people, just noticing, the more you practice not doing it, the more when you do it, you really notice you're doing it and just want to stop it straight away. And, you know, this all links in together, because if you're in a really kind of dark space and you're thinking negative thoughts, then that is going to actually impact the food that you are taking into your body and the water that you're taking into your body in a negative way, and vice versa. So if you're thinking really positive, pure thoughts, and you're in a really good space and you're doing the things that improve your vibration that I've just spoken about, and you're also doing that with the water, so you're keeping the water in that space around the beautiful music, you're putting it on the window ledge in the sunshine or outside in the sunshine for a few minutes, then that is also going to have an impact on what you're taking into your body. And there's loads of sort of new research going on all the time in terms of, you know, understanding energy. And within the scientific community, obviously, they would use different language, but it pretty much explains the same thing. So that stuff's really important. Also, clearing out all the kind of toxic chemicals from your house. So replacing your cleaning products and stuff like that with eco brands. And some of them you can actually make yourself. I mean, I tend to use a brand called Method, which is one of the eco brands, which is really nice. And sometimes I use Ecova brand. I mean, all of these ones that, you know, tend to actually work and clean things pretty well do contain a level of chemicals, but it's at a much lower level than your bog standard kind of stuff. But you can also use things like vinegar and essential oils as well. And I've been getting really into essential oils lately, and I will do a new video on those, because they were the kind of thing that, you know, through ignorance a few years ago I would have thought, oh, well, they just smell nice, don't they? That's what they're for. But actually they're really, really powerful. And I've had some great success healing and curing skin conditions with essential oils, so I will do another video about that. I'm just going to try and show you my lovely new front room. Let's see if we can do a... Hopefully I'm not too close to the wall. And you can see that. I'm actually not going to know until I shut this video down whether you actually got to see anything. Basically, magic occurred in my life like a week and a half ago, because I found out from my really unpleasant, horrible, exploitative landlord that he was going to throw me out because I asked him to repair something, basically. And this is very common, happens a lot. It's called a revenge eviction. And I kind of sought legal advice and blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that, he was within his rights, believe it or not, to actually do this. And it was put through Parliament recently because, the various tenants' rights organisations and charities actually discovered that this was a real problem that was just going on all over the country. So they actually lobbied Parliament, trying to put some legislation in place to actually stop landlords from being able to evict tenants simply because they asked them for a repair, which was perfectly fair enough, basically. When you're paying for somewhere to live, you expect it to be of a certain standard, especially where I live, which is a very expensive part of the country. And basically, to have anything of a reasonable, nice standard, like my amazingly beautiful house, which you probably can't see properly, but I will do a proper house tour video over the next few days so you can see it properly, because it's like so cute and like architect designed and blah blah blah. I'm just like so blown away by this house. But yeah, the way it happened was, in the weeks previous to this eviction occurring, I had been, as a very non-materialistic person, because I'm someone who just, like, I have to work hard to be materialistic. That's just how I am. I don't know if it's because I grew up in a family of artists and I'm an artist myself and I just had different priorities, or what it was, but it's something that I've had to kind of push myself towards, to have desire in the area of material gain. And so what happened was I was noticing that I was like really appreciating lovely houses and lovely living spaces and lovely spaces to be and stuff like that. And I was thinking, oh, my flat is really horrible, because it really was bad. It was very expensive. Don't get me wrong, because where I live is very expensive. It's like the most desirable part of the UK, and you pay a massive premium for that. For living in quite a nice town. So I was noticing that I was really I was imagining myself in these places, but it wasn't like conscious manifestation. And then, so I find out a week and a half ago that I'm going to be kicked out. Next thing I know, everything is falling into place for me to get this amazing house that had just been built. Like, I kid you not. And I was thinking, no, you must have got it all wrong. I'm not going to pass referencing. I've got a low credit score. I've got a dog. Basically, in terms of kind of rentability, I was like really close to the bottom of the pile. And I was just thinking, like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Every single step of the way, the universe stepped in to make it possible, even to the point where they accept my dog. Absolutely nuts. So I'm really blown away by that and really over the moon. And what that has actually done is just made me realise, and it's just cemented my understanding of law of attraction, consciousness, and it's made me kind of understand a little bit more about how it works as well, because I'm thinking all the conscious manifesting that I've done, yeah, I've had some luck with it and I've had some results, but nowhere near the results that I have had with this unconscious manifesting. And so I'm thinking, if we're manifesting all the time, which we are, whether we're conscious of it or not, then surely the way to get the best results, and obviously I don't believe that you can manipulate this and like have everything run smoothly like your whole life, because certain things have to clear for you to get what you want, which might create periods of temporary chaos. So I'm not saying kind of like everything's going to be brilliant all the time if you do this, but I've just got a feeling that the way to do it is to keep your vibration high. So again, we're talking about drinking pure water, which is going to keep your vibration high, which is going to help your physical health improve. It's also a message of self-care. I care about myself enough to look after my health and look after my body, which is internalized. That becomes a vibration in itself. Improves self-esteem, improves self-love, all of that stuff. Keeping your vibration high through your diet, eating a plant-based diet, or at least a diet high in plant-based foods, and getting rid of all the toxic stuff out of your house, replacing it, stuff like that. Thinking about the stuff that you put on your body, natural products, all of that stuff. I mean, there's just like so many videos that I'm thinking that I could do just off the back of what I've been talking about now. But yeah, that's what I recommend. Also, some kind of staple stuff that I think we should all have in our kitchen. And some products off the top of my head that I think, I recommend to you, that I use all the time, that are really nice and that you could buy and try. So I try to avoid bog standard builder's tea because it's bad for you and, it's not very nice. So I drink Clipper organic raspberry leaf. That's a really great tea. Something else that I've discovered recently is dandelion root, which is absolutely fantastic for healing various skin conditions. And I've actually used that. I've actually made it into a paste. It's actually called dandelion root coffee, that you can buy from health stores. And you can mix it with a little bit of water, make it into a paste, put it on some cotton wool, put it on whatever the skin lesion is, put some micropore tape on it, so just leave it on for kind of 24 hours. I actually had a really scary looking mole improve overnight with that dandelion root. There's a lot of studies at the moment in dandelion root curing cancer. There's clinical trials going through in Canada, and there's a doctor who has been curing late stage cancers with dandelion root. Another one that I'm really getting into, and this is both the essential oil and the stuff that you take internally, which is in capsule form, which is frankincense. The studies into frankincense in the treatment of various different types of skin cancers and also cancer in general is going through the roof. It's also an anti-inflammatory. It seems to block pain receptors, and it's helping people that are dealing with chronic pain, ME, fibromyalgia, arthritis, sciatica, any of those kind of things. Fantastic. Obviously, one that most people know about by now, certainly people on my friends list on social media, would be turmeric, which is fantastic, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. We know that most disease is caused by inflammation. So if you can keep inflammation down, then you're going to improve your health overall. So there are a few things to be thinking about. Obviously, buy organic wherever possible. I have spoken about before some things where it's slightly less important, like if you've got a really thick skin on the fruit, like avocados, mangoes, stuff like that, because they can be quite difficult to source organic and also very expensive. And I think it's very important that people don't feel judged. If you can't afford organic, you can't afford it. Just wash it as well as you can and cook it. I wouldn't tend to eat non-organic raw, for obvious reasons. So yeah, really just wanted to put this vlog out, talking about the water again and telling you a bit about these new things that I found out about. So the frankincense and the dandelion root. These are amazing. Get hold of them. Have them in your kind of medicine box or whatever. Oil of oregano is another fantastic one actually for cold and flu season. That will just get rid of a virus. As long as you catch it quickly when you feel that you're coming down with it, within 24 to 48 hours, gone. Cannot recommend that highly enough. Also, with the frankincense, like I said a minute ago, you can get the essential oil, which is fantastic for skin conditions and stuff like that. You can use it topically as well if you've got sinus conditions. just kind of like rub it over the nose area. For high stress and anxiety, kind of like acute in the moment anxiety, you can actually rub that on the pressure points on your wrists, on your temples, and actually you can rub a couple of drops onto the roof of your mouth as well. Yeah, one other fantastic thing. Now, I've spoken about in videos before about how I suffer from hypothyroidism, and I have actually had that for like 15 years. I know that it's caused by adrenal fatigue and cortisol poisoning through the stress of living in this system as a single mum for as many years as I have, along with environmental toxins. But of course, the healthcare brigade, mainstream medicine, have absolutely no interest in discovering the root causes of conditions such as hypothyroidism or any other autoimmune. They're just going to like put you on a pharmaceutical drug, and quite often, like in the case of mine, they say, right, you're going to be on this for the rest of your life. I'm like, are there any side effects? No, there's no side effects. No, everyone does well on it. Really? Well, yeah, there's side effects. I saw a fantastic video on essential oils and how you can use essential oils to cure or massively assist your thyroid in working, functioning properly. Would be 2 or 3 drops of frankincense essential oil into the palm of your hands and then actually rub it onto the thyroid glands. Now, I've been doing this with all of this stress going on in the move and everything else, God, nuts. And this is how into this I am, that I still actually find time to do these things. So I was rubbing this frankincense essential oil into my thyroid gland as suggested. I've been doing it for about a week and a half. And no, I haven't had a blood test yet, although I will. But my energy levels have increased. I've lowered my dose of the medication, which I want to come off because I don't approve of this stuff. I've been trying to kind of deal with my thyroid through natural health in different ways for a long time. But yeah, I feel better. I'm thinking essential oils are far more important than we know. I will be continuing to research and put out more videos on essential oils and, the different effects that they can have on the body, and, how they can be useful. Anyway, I hope that you found this video useful in some way. Like I said before, I'm going to put a link to the water filter that I use, which is a fantastic gravity water filter, which filters fluoride out as standard. Most do not. If you buy the cheap ones on Amazon, they don't. You have to buy extra fluoride filters. Even the Big Berkey does not filter fluoride as standard. You have to get extra filters. So this comes with fluoride filters. It's also very reasonably priced for a high quality machine. If you're looking at the ones on Amazon, like £100, that is not what you're after. These are slightly more, but quality-wise, they compete very well with the Big Berkey, and you get the added fluoride filter free. So I'm going to put a link to that. I'm also going to try and put a link, if I can find some, the products that I use in terms of the frankincense, the dandelion root, and the oil of oregano. I'm going to try and put some links in the comments below to those as well. Anyway, I'd be really interested to hear from you what you think of this video. If you've got any kind of, fantastic products that you use for natural health and any suggestions. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching.